Today we're putting drop spindles on a 72 bug. To make the process a little bit faster, I've went ahead and pre-loosened everything, make sure it comes apart easy. So the process is, take the hub off, of course, loosen up the upper ball joint, lower ball joint, tie rod end over here, and your shock bolt. You have to take all those apart, or loose, and come around in the front. After you have your hub off, you have to undo these three bolts right here. That's what actually holds the spindle on. We're going to be replacing a stock spindle with this. This is an empty 2.5 inch drop spindle. So the whole process is pretty quick. Might take you 20 minutes per side if you have everything you need, and everything comes apart easy. So right now I will go ahead and take everything apart so you can see what's going on. Right now I'm taking the bolts off that hold the brakes on, along with the that holds the brakes to the spindle himself. And that's all that is, just those 3 bolts. We'll set that aside. Right now all the nuts are already off here, and it's being held up with a jack. So we'll take the jack down. Tap your shock off. That probably would have been easier, but yeah. That's still on it now that I think about it. So we'll just lift it back out and take some pressure off that a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. There you go. Now we can take the jack down. And that's how that comes apart. Now putting the new spindle on is just as easy. Now would be a good time, if you thought about it, unlike me, to replace any boots, worn boots that we have. I didn't think about that, so I'll have to do that at a later time. So roll your jack back under the lower ball joint. Jack it up some. The way the front end is preloaded with those heavy springs, this would be real hard to do without using your jack. Everything in the spot. You can see everything just kind of pops together. Tap your shock back on. Like that. Now make sure you put the correct nuts and bolts on, or washers and nuts. Now if it starts to spin like that, you may have to get some pliers, channel locks or something to hold it. Next we'll do the lower ball joint. This process may be different with disc brakes or kingpin but I don't know. I've never had those. I keep the drum brakes. I don't have my motor's just stock 1600 dual port. Drum brakes stop me just fine. If I upgrade my motor, I may consider disc brakes, but for now, why spend that extra several $100s that it's going to cost to convert everything? Some people like to have the adjustable front beam instead of drop spindles. If you do that and you're on a budget like I am, you have to change a lot more stuff. Because you have to change your tie rod ends, or at least adjust them down. You may have to work on your brake lines. There's just a little bit more stuff that you have to buy. The drop spindles I got from off the Samba from a place called Central Texas Auto Works. They were $85 and they are empty. So they're 85 bucks, $14 shipping and $6 tax, so it's about $106 total for the spindles themselves, which is much cheaper than I found anywhere else. So anyway, all that is back together. I'm not sure what the torque specs are. I just tighten until I can't tighten anymore. So after you got that put back on, you're going to put your brake pads back on. Basically same configuration as was on the original ones. So just put those 3 bolts back in. And in case you're thinking this is going by real fast because I'm a professional, I am not a professional. I've never done this before. There's just not that much to it. It'd be even faster with air tools. But it's early in the morning on a Sunday. I don't want to wake my neighbors up with my noisy air compressor. Have to do it early here in Texas. It gets real hot. It's supposed to be 102 today. You don't want to be out here doing this when it's that hot. If you saw whenever I changed my floor pans in this bug, I was in Georgia then. I'm in the Army, got restationed, so I'm now at Fort Hood in Texas. So don't forget to put the nut back on your shock tower, or your shock back there. If you haven't got ratchet wrenches yet, I highly recommend them. These are gear wrench. You can get them at Sears, Kmart. Same thing as Craftsman, a little bit cheaper. Still lifetime guaranteed. Okay. That is a change. Drop spindle. So now what's left is to put the hub back on and grease it. I don't like the way the grease feels, so I'll put a latex glove on. And this is just a multi-purpose grease. Just lube up your spindle shaft. Don't worry about being, be pretty liberal with it. Alright, here's what it looks like after the drop spindles are put on the front. As you can see, we filled in that wheel well real nice. That's what I was looking for. And I may have to change my front tire and get a little bit smaller. Those are 165/80s. I may have to go down to 145s if it rubs. I'll have to drive a little bit and see. It's not incredibly low like a lot of guys do, but I drive my car every day, so I didn't want to do that. Let's see, for some reason there's a little bit extra room. It could be the slant of the street here, but in the next couple of weeks just keep checking back to Steel Dragon VW, because I'll be taking the back down 2 clicks. So I'll show you how to do that. So that'll level me out. So that's it for right now from Steel Dragon VW. Be sure to check back in the next couple weeks. We'll lower the back end.